am going to go ahead and read the official biography for Van Songdu. Venerable Gelsen Songdu was born in Tibet and eventually came to India. Always wanting to be a monk, he was ordained in 1994, receiving his novice vows from His Eminence Choden Rinpoche. From 1994 to 2013, Van Songdu was a resident monk at Sarajay Monastic University in India, pursuing his Buddhist education. While there, he was also an assistant to Choden Rinpoche and served as a translator for foreigners, and he speaks English fluently. On February 23, 2009, he received his full ordination vows from His Eminent Dalai Lama. After nearly 20 years of vigorous and extensive study on Buddhist study, including logic, perfection of wisdom, epistemology, Mahayamika, Vinaya, and metaphysics, Choden Rinpoche chose Van Songdu to be one of the resident teachers at Ananda Dharma Center. When Van Songdu came to the United States as part of Rinpoche entourage, Rinpoche gave a beautiful introduction of Van Songdu and advised everyone that Van Songdu is a fully qualified Dharma teacher whose understanding of Dharma knowledge is penetrative and vast. Van Songdu is also highly knowledgeable about the symbolism and the use of Dharma instruments and conducting rituals. After Choden Rinpoche passed, Van Songdu taught many teachings on Sutra and Tantra. He spent a year teaching an in-depth study of Choden Rinpoche book, Tantric Path and Grounds. And he also spent around 2 years teaching on Lama Tsongkhapa Vajrayana text, The Three Aspirations. Van Songdu has been a resident teacher at Ananda Dharma Center for nearly 8 years. So as everyone can see, Mother Tara is very, very fortunate to have the guidance of Van Songdu. Not only that he guides us, all the teaching that he's given us, but he also writes booklets, preparing rituals, guide us on how to set up for any rituals. And his teaching as well as his knowledge is very, very profound. So we are very, very fortunate to have him to help Mother Tara. As part of the teaching, he would like to hear feedback from everyone. He wants Mother Tara to improve in our learning. So he would love to hear feedback from everyone. And if you do have feedback for him, please let us know and we will definitely pass the word. So with that, we are going to start the teaching with Van Songdu. Thank you everyone for your patience, and we can start now. Dạ xin mọi người cho vài phút nha.
Hello everyone. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Chada Chogation, and Rajanjo. Rajanjo, what do you get? That's when I get all the punches. Thank you. Okay. So without wasting much time, I will go directly into the teaching. So last time we discussed briefly about the law of karma. So by understanding the law of karma, there are a lot of many benefits. One would come to understand how to lead a enjoyable life, how to get rid of the pain and suffering in one's life.
Chị Trang ơi, tiếng nhỏ quá ạ.
So last week I gave the general presentation or general understanding on the law of karma. So I will add a little bit more, which may be helpful. So, as discussed last time, finally, when we try to understand the karma, what really is karma, it has more to do with the action or motivation, right? It has more to do with the motivation or intention, because much of the action or karma is accumulated through the force of one's motivation, right? If the motivation is pure or sincere, then the karma is also positive. If the motivation is somewhat negative or non-virtuous, then the karma can also be non-virtuous or negative karma. And therefore, if I further elaborate, about the karma, the essence of the karma. Now, for example, right? Let me give one example, right? Here, I hold the glass. It's a one glass. I, as a human being, right? And then I have another friend, maybe God. And then I have another third friend who is also who is a hungry ghost, right? So we three of friends, gaze or look at this glass. This glass is filled with water, right? We look at this glass. Now, for me, this glass of water is appeared as just water. Now, for the hungry ghost, this glass is, a glass of water is appeared as mere the blood and pus. Whereas on the God, this glass of water is seen as the nectar or ambrosia. Why we three of us have different appearance of this piece of glass, different perception of this piece of this glass water. Now I see this purely as a glass of water because we all of three look at this glass of water simultaneously at the same time, right? At the same time. Now, for me, I see this as a glass, as a glass of water, nothing more than this. I don't see the blood and pus. I don't see any nectar. Right? I just simply see it as a glass of water. Now, because right, because I create my own karma. I create my own, kind of the karma. I create my own karma. Now, when my karma is activated, what causes my karma to activate is because of seeing this glass of water. This glass of water, by seeing this glass of water, my karma is activated, in this way, then this water or the portion of liquid, this portion of liquid is transformed into the water. Now, in the case of the Holy Ghost, what happens is, the karma is activated. The negative karma is activated. When the negative karma is activated, what really happens is this water, the portion of this water is transformed into the blood and pus. Due to the force of negative karma, this glass of water is totally transformed into the blood and pus. Nothing more than this, right? They don't see any kind of water, or they don't see any kind of nectar. Now, for the third person, the individual third person, who is a God, or what we call a celestial being, right? When the gods see this, they don't see the water. What they do see is, they do see the glass of nectar, the glass of pure ambrosia, and that occurs due to the activation of the positive karma of the God and the celestial being. In this way, we all the three people have different perception, right? And why this three different perception occurs is due to the karma. For me, I create positive karma, right? And for the Holy Ghost, they create negative karma. And for the God, they see the it's the positive karma, right? Now here, this water, when I drink this liquid, when I drink, it's just simply water, right? It's simply water. And then for the Holy Ghost, when they drink, when the water touches their tongue, it's totally transformed. It's also, the blood and pus. For the celestial being God, what they enjoy is just the nectar and the ambrosia, nothing more than this, right? So even the individual object, even the object, object, it depends much on how we create the karma. Even seeing the pleasant, sometimes we see the pleasant things. When we do see the pleasant things, that is purely your positive karma. When we do see the negative things, that is also because of our negative karma, right? Similarly, now another example. I have a flower. Sorry, I didn't. I was supposed to bring some flower, to give you a better idea, better understanding. Now there's a flower, right? There's one flower. Me and my friend, we both look at the flower, right? For me, this flower also beautiful, nice, right? Or very, the flower very attractive. My friend, when see the flower, he maybe he does not see the good flower, right? Now, even see the flower, I see the flower appears to me so nicely, right? The flower, I see the flower as a beautiful. My friends see the flower as not beautiful or unattractive. Again, I see the flower in a beautiful beautiful way is because of my positive karma. My friends see the flower in a negative way is because of negative karma. Now, now we look at this flower, right? After some time, I also gained the joyful experience, and this joyful experience is also due to the positive karma, because my positive karma is activated. When my positive karma is activated, I feel the sense of joy. Whereas my friend, I'm just giving example, right? When my friend see the flower, he not only see the flower in a negative way, but but also my friend feel little uncomfortable, unpleasant feeling, right? So this unpleasant feeling is also due to the power of the negative karma, right? This is another example. Now, now, for example, some places have a lot of problem and a lot of difficulties, whereas some places is very nice, very attractive, very enchanting, very beautiful, right? Now, for example, in the case of like unpleasant places like that, the hell, now for example, say the burning, the iron, the blazing houses, the burning metals, the molten fire, and then the gardens, the hell gardens, and unpleasant voice. Then who create all these things? Who create all these things, unpleasant things? So it is purely due to the accumulation of the negative karma of those beings in the hell. Now, if we look into the Pure Land, right, and the Pure Land, you will see the lotuses, the very soft petal lotuses. You will see the the crystal, the crystal-like palaces filled with jewelries, decorated with different kinds of jewelry ornaments. You will see the trees, where the pearls, the jewelry ornaments are hanging. You will see the wish granting trees, the jewels, the melodious sound of the dharma. Again, who create all these things? All these are the creation of the collective, the collective karma of those beings in the Pure Land, right? So therefore, many of our, even the feeling, the pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, the way we do see the things, the way we do see the things, the way we, say, the way we enjoy the food, the way we wear the cloth, all this are finally has to do with karma. Has to much to do with the karma, right? Now, sometimes we also talk about looking at the things from the positive side, right? Sometimes, we make an effort to see the things from the positive angle, from the pure positive angle, right? Yet on the other hand, yet on the other hand, sometimes we are not able to do that, right? We are not able to do that. Even, for example, right, when we face with some difficulties, say someone use the unpleasant words, we have the tendency to think more about this problem, right? Although we should not, we better not supposed to do this, do this kind of thinking. We try to focus our attention more on the positive side, but sometimes we are not able to do that. Why is because it's a time to purify our stains, the imprints, the seed of the negative karma, because it is fundamentally it is the seed of the karma which carries all this habituation, and these habituation are transformed into reality later on when the causes and conditions comes together, right? As I said, we work hard in our day-to-day life, we have good qualifications, we have good degrees, we have all the good facilities, right? Facilities, and but all these are cooperating factors. All these are cooperating factors. The auxiliary conditions, cooperative conditions. The main thing is your own karma. When your own karma. When the with your karma and the external conditions come together, now the pleasant situation occurs, unpleasant situation occurs. So much depends on our accumulation of the karma and the accumulation of the good karma, right? And also the purification of the negative karma. So that really determines, how we lead a kind of life which which ensures good life, right? So this is briefly about the again general understanding of the law of karma. Now today I will talk now of the 10 non-virtuous actions. Of the 10 non-virtuous actions, we have the 3 from the body, right? Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and then 4 from the speech, right? Telling lies, creating disharmony, using harsh words, and then 4th one is gossiping, right? And then from the mind, we have 3, the intention to harm others. And then number 2 is wanting to have others, wanting to have others, things or possessions. And number 3rd is the wrong view or perverted view. So the first one is I will talk briefly about the act of the killing, right? Sorry. Generally speaking, when we talk about the act of killing, it does not, we do not understand only about killing a kind of thing like human being, right? And accidentally or unaccidentally we happen to kill the other animals, including the insects, right? So before going to talk about the act of killing, we have the 4 factors. The 4 main factors are should be there to complete to have the full negative karma, complete negative karma. Now the first one is, what are the 4 factors? When the 4 factors are complete, the action that we have committed is complete. It's a full negative karma, right? So the first one is of the 4 factors. The first factor is the object. The object should be somebody other than you, right? That is the object. Then the second one is mental state, right? Mental state. Now we have there are 2 kinds of mental state. One is recognition and another one is motivation. Recognition means, now for example, some the rat the rat come into your house, some rat come into your house and destroy your clothes and all these things, right? Now we develop angry. When we develop angry, now you wanted to finish off with this rat, right? So the recognition is recognize the rat as a rat. If you mistake the rat for the cat and then kill the cat, that is not a full karma, right? So recognizing the rat as a rat, right? So for this is the recognition, right? Then the motivation is just to kill the rat, right? Motivation, right? So we have the second one. Then the third one is the execution of the act. Now when the action is committed, that is the action, right? When the action is committed, that is the action. And the final is when somebody the rat, when the rat dies before you die, that is the conclusion. That is the full negative karma that we committed, right? Now, we will talk about, so that is about the the 4 factors, right? The object, the mental state, number 2, object, mental state, and then the execution of the act, number 3, and then the conclusion of the act, number 4. In the killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, all this should be there, right? But we will talk one by one, right? Now, as I said, in the act of the killing, for example, right, in the act of taking others' life, there should be motivation, right? There should be motivation. Now, there are sometimes we motivated by anger, kill the animal, motivated by hatred, kill the animal, motivated by ignorance, kill the animal, killing the animal, right? Now, example, right? Taking others' life, for example, like taking the life of the insect, right, or rat, say just, we better take the simple example like rat or cat, the rat is the cat of so killing the rat out of killing, now the action motivated by, for example, like motivated by attachment, right? Now, in the case of the the killing motivated by the attachment, now this involves, now for example, right, attachment towards the animal skin. The animal is being killed. Attachment towards the animal's fur, right? Animal fur. The animal is being killed. Now, for example, like the tiger skin, right? Crocodile skin, and then some crocodile skin, tiger skin, the leopard. Their skin is very good, right? Very different kinds of the figures, attractive figures. So for this reason, now these animals are being killed. So there is the killing motivated out of attachment, right? And also, for example, like killing the animal, attachment towards the meat, right? Now, like buffalo or some kind of sheep and the goat, so like this. Now, killing motivated by anger. Anger is now, for example, a rat, right? Sometime the rat come to your house, and then what happened is the rat come to your house, destroy your clothes, destroy all the stuff in the house, right? Eating all the stuff, and then finally then motivated by anger, this the rat destroy all my things, I paid for this expensive, these things are pretty expensive, so motivated by anger, then you try to finish off with the rat, that is motivated by anger, right? And then whether you use that, if you if you use the rat trapping, then that's good, right? Sometimes then we use like powder, right? Some kind of poison, killing these things. So there are different ways, sometimes they put the sticky things, then the rat come, then the rat gets stuck, and then it's finished, right? So like this is the action motivated by the anger. Now the third one is action, the killing motivated by ignorance, right? Now what is this, right? What is the example for a kind of the karmic action, which involves the ignorance, right? In this way, the animal is being slaughtered, right? That one is mainly related with, for example, right? I don't want to talk about this, but I have to say, right? I have to say, if we really want to, understand the law of karma. Now, for example, like, in the job, in one's job, one gets promoted to the higher position, and then there's a party going on, we throw the party, and in the party, at least the animal is being slaughtered, the cow or some buffalo, 1 or 2 buffalo is being slaughtered. But for what purpose? Right? It is for, to as congratulations for being promoted to the higher position. But in reality, but in reality, one creates negative karma, right? And similarly, in the case of like wedding, wedding ceremony, also, then the the veg, the non-veg food is being served, but then again, but for what purpose? And then the sponsor order, right? The sponsor ordered how many people attend the ceremony, and then based on the number of the people, then the sponsor or benefactor order the meat in which 1 cow or 2 cow is being slaughtered. So in this way, the karma is created. So that is the the act of taking others' life motivated out of ignorance, right? In reality, instead of apparently outside on the surface it looks like yeah, things going well, but in reality, if you come and contemplate on the law of karma, this is shortening one's life. Not it is it is not for making one's life long. It is indeed shortening one's life, because the animals is one shortens the life of an animal, right? So this is even in the case of the act of taking others' life, the anger is involved sometimes. Sometimes the attachment is involved. The animal is being killed out of attachment. The animal is being killed out of ignorance. The animal is being killed out of anger, right? So I give all this the example. There are so many examples, right, that we can give. Then now we will discuss about the what is the result, what is the negative result of having taken the other's life. Now usually when we talk about the negative karma, once the action is committed, right, first in the beginning, we develop the we have the object, for example, like the say the rat, because the rat just destroy clothes, all the many stuff, or sometimes the ants also come, right? The ants also come. Ants, destroy the wood ceiling, wooden ceiling, the ants come into your house, and then the ants go into the wall, and then it destroy the wooden ceiling, right? But then why the ants and rat come into your house, right? Why, right? For example, the ants come to destroy your house. Sometimes what we call the insects, the insects come into your house, and destroy all the wooden things, but why? Because again, according to the law of karma, the understanding in the law of karma, because the ants, the rats, the mice, or sometimes we call red bugs, right? The red bugs, all this come into one's house because of the what we do believe as karmic debt, because we owe a karmic debt to this in one of the past life. to someone else or to these animals. So in which we are failed to reimburse, we are failed to return back. Because of this, the rat coming, the bugs, the insects coming, is because of the karmic maturation in this very life. That is, the maturation of karma. The karma is ripening, right? So the question may come: if that is the case, do we just allow to the rats and the insects, right? The insects, the ants, to do whatever they want? No, you still have the solution, right? Now, what is the solution? So, right, the solution is now. Sometimes then there's now this the rituals, sur offering. There's one one ritual called sur offering. Sur offering is highly recommended for such a cases, right? And also there's one called there's one ritual called repaying the karmic debt, torma. So there's one ritual which involves giving the torma. So these things will help, right? These things will help rather than using the poison or some other kind of things. So there are many methods, for this. So anyway, right now in the beginning, I'm just giving the example, right? For example, motivated out of the anger to the rat, we develop the motivation to destroy the rat, right? And then with this kind of motivation, now we think in our mind, oh, I have to do something with this rat, I have to finish him off. With this motivation, then you use any kind of method, you may use some poison or sometimes other things to kill the rat. Now when the rat is killed, what happens is the karma, you have created a full karma. This karma, right? Karma is the action. Now the seed of the karma is stored in your mind. The seed of the karma is stored in your mind. Now this karma has the potential to produce 4 different kinds of result, negative result, right? One is ripening result. The first one is ripening result. Now ripening result, habitual result, experiential result, and then finally environmental result. We have 4 negative karma. Now in the case of the ripening result, the ripening result is then we may take birth in the lower realm. We may take birth in the lower realm, right? This is the and especially in the case of the killing, is mostly one is being taken the birth in the reviving hell, right? That is purely related with the act of killing. One would be born in a reviving hell out of 8 hells, 8 hot hells and cold hells. One is mostly take birth in the reviving hell, and sometimes born in the animal, and sometimes born in hungry ghost. Then what is the result? Okay. What is the habitual result? Now habitual result is because because when the intention to kill the rat, in this way we continue to think about how to kill the rat, and the method, different thinking process comes, how to finish off with the rat. And this kind of thinking, again, this kind of thinking leaves the imprint in your mind, which then later on produce the tendency to kill, even the insects, like this. So that is what is called as habitual result. One get habituated with the for example, right, even in We do see sometimes some children very compassionate, very loving towards the animals, whereas some children, a little bit, how to say, a little bit harsh towards the animal, right? So this is again, related with the karma, what is called as habituated, result, right? And then we have the experiential result. Now, experiential result is that is again, it's a really interesting and it's a very vast, vast topic. When we talk about experiential result of having taken the life of others, now the experiential result is even in this, even in maybe this life or in another life, as a result of having killed the rat, kill the rat. Now the experiential result is one will have, one would have short life. One would have, more sicknesses, more illnesses. Even if one try to, take the medication does not work. If you do purify, then, yeah, medication works. Medication definitely works. However, if you do not purify, no matter the medication, sometimes, people complain about, they do this medication, that medication seems to not working. Why? All it has to do with, one hasn't purified one's negative karma, right? So therefore, the experiential result is that, not necessarily in this life, also in, next, at some point of life, one will have very short life and many sicknesses will continue. So this is the experiential result of the act of killing. And then the environmental result. The environmental result is even, one is born as a human being. Even if one is born as a human being, then one will have, one is born in a place where there's a lot of problems, where there's a war going on, the quarrel going on, the fighting going on. One is born in such a place, not ideal to live, because of, the war, or because of many difficulties. One will be born in such a place, And then we may ask, right, what happened, for example, sometimes we don't have any motivation. Sometimes we take a walk, sometimes we watering, right, to the plants. We water. We do put some flower, the watering. We watering the plants. We watering the the trees, and then sometimes accidentally, sometimes the small worms, they get killed, and then do we still create negative karma? Right now, for example, we do the stupa construction, stupa construction in which we have to dig the earth, and many animals are being killed. Do we create negative karma in these cases? Right? Because no motivation is involved, in these cases, right? For example, we take a walk, and then some insects get under your feet and get killed, but the negative karma is much less because no motivation. You have no motivation to kill, but still we create negative karma, right? So in these things also one need to purify the negative karma, right? And also, for example, like now some cases like, where when we begin to build the stupa, right, when we begin to build a monastery like this, right, and then when digging the earth, of course, then many insects are being killed. Many insects died. In this case, do we have positive karma or negative karma? Right. In these cases, yes, we do create negative karma, right? At the same time, we also create such a powerful positive karma, because now if we, wake, which is more stronger, the positive karma is more stronger. The positive karma overwhelm it and subdue the negative karma in this case, right? So we also have to understand all these things, right? So now Now, because we are talking on the the act of taking others' life. So we will then as discuss experiential result. What is the experience? What are the experiential results? Now, for example, it's here. There are some karmic action, right? Some action which shorten one's life, right? We shorten one's life. Now, for example, the karma, like as discussed, the act of taking others' life. The act of taking others' life is the karmic action which then shorten one's life. And then encouraging other people to take others' life, encouraging. So this act is also shortening one's life. And then taking a rejoice, when the animal is being killed, we take a delight. So this is one cause for shortening one's life. And then talking the good qualities. And so this also happens sometimes in the military, when the enemy is being killed, one is being honored, the medals is being killed. But in reality, from the law of karma, understanding of the law of karma is shortening one's life, right? Because one is being praised for having killed the enemy, right, during the war, during the battle. So this is also one of the karmic action for shortening the life. And then abortion. Abortion is also the action which shortens one's life. And then destroying the fetus. Destroying the fetus also shortening one's life. And then taking a rejoice when the enemy is being killed. When the enemy died, one take the rejoice. That is also shortening one's life, right? And then and then talking the good qualities, about talking the good qualities when the enemy is being killed, for example, right? For example, like Saddam Hussein, when the Iraq dictator Saddam was being killed, people rejoice. But in reality, it's a kind of because one takes the rejoice in takes the rejoice when one is being killed. So it's also shortening life, And then some animal, one animal who is going to be executed, who is going to be killed, and for that animal you set up the shrine. You set up the shrine and make the offering to that shrine. Is also the cause for the action for shortening one's life. And then then war, how to say, taking a delight, rejoice for seeing the the war or battle or fighting, quarrel, all these things. When one takes a delight in these things, it's also the shortening one's life. So these are the 10 karmic action, which really shortens one's life. One creates the Now what happened is, as I said, right, in the case of so first, I will talk this one. So then what is the causes for the long life? What are the causes? What are the karmic actions which leads to the long life? Not necessarily in this life, right? Even in the It's possible to, this life, one will have a long life. It's very possible. And also, one will have a long life in the next life or after life, right? So, what are the causes, the main karmic actions which leads to the long life? So again, refraining, avoiding the act of killing. This is the karmic action to have a long life. Avoiding yourself from the act of killing, killing others, including the animals. And then you encourage other people to refrain or avoid from killing, right? And we can do, right? Anybody can do. We ask the others also to refrain from killing. And then we talk about good qualities. We talk about all the wonderful and good qualities for refraining from the act of killing, or avoiding from the act of killing. When we talk about the good qualities, it is also one of the karmic action to have a long life, right? And then saving the lives of those animals who is going to be executed, who is going to be killed. You save the life, for example, there's some the cow, the buffalo is being going to kill, and then you try to save them, you buy it and set them free. So this is also long, the karmic action to have a long life. And then sometimes we have the fear, right? Sometimes we have the when somebody is in fear, being punished by somebody, then we try to save that person from that fear of being punished. So these are also the karmic action for long life. And then developing love and compassion for those who have no protection, for those who really needs the protection, who really needs your care. So this is also a long life. And then giving the food, giving the shelter to those to those small child, for those small children, and also the elderly people who have no protection. And then giving the cloth and the food to those who are really destitute, who are homeless people or beggar, giving this the shelter, the food, and clothing. So this is also the long life. Yeah. And then when there's a fighting going on, when there's a fight, when there's an argument between two people, when there's a fight between two people, when the war is going on, you try to pacify, you try to settle the dispute, because when the quarrel happens, things are not good. So when you try to help them settle the argument, settle the dispute, this is also cause for long life. And then when the stupa, sometimes the stupa is in bad shape. The images, Buddha's images, sometimes stone images, the stupas are in bad shape. You try to restore it. Right now, the mother are trying to do some planting, right, the Bodhanath. So that is also restoring, so that is, you have a long life, one of the cause for having a long life. So this is for long life, right? Now what are the what are the causes? What are the causes for having illness? Sometimes sometimes what really happens is we get recovered from one disease, and then later on we get another illness. When another illness recovered, another illness comes, right? Why all this happens? And sometimes we have so many multiple the health issues here and there. Again, why it all happens? Now there are certain karmic conditions, karmic action, which makes which when you create this, you will have a lot of illnesses. So yeah, I will go through this. And then there is the first one is out of harmful intention, you beat other. You beat other, whether you with a stick, you use stick or one knife or whatever, beating and hitting others. That is, now what happened is, when you beat with a stick, when you beat somebody with a stick, of course, somebody feel pain, right? Somebody definitely feel pain. And then motivated out of, ill intention or harmful intention, and then you get a stick and beat with other. When the other people feel the pain, you have created the karma. That karma is now stored in your mind. Now that karma has the potential to produce the result at any point of time when the causes and conditions come together. So therefore, no one can escape the law of karma, unless one make the purification practice. Otherwise, karma cannot be destroyed. So then, yeah, in this way, the karma is created, right? And then sometimes, people, beating other, and then you inspire other. Oh, that's very good. You need to do more beating. You need to do more hitting. That is also one karmic condition which makes you have a lot of illnesses in this life or in other point of life. This number 2. And then talking about good qualities of beating or hitting, beating. So this is beating is good. These days, if we don't beat, people don't listen. Like this kind of talking about good qualities of beating. So if you do this, also you have created the karma, which then next you go through illnesses, a lot of illnesses. And then disturbing the mind of the parents. Disturbing the mind of the parents, right? So this is also one, we I think already discussed, sometime, it's yeah, it's okay. Disturbing the mind of the parents. Then we have, disturbing the mind of someone who has the vows. Disturbing the mind of someone who is keeping the vows, and then giving the prescribing the wrong medication. Sometimes we mistakenly, prescribe the wrong medication, right, to somebody, right, and then somebody, the condition, instead of getting, recovered, get more worse. So that is also, prescribing or giving the wrong medication to the patient. So this is also, one of the cause for having the many illnesses. Yeah. And then, the patient, the food is not working, then sometimes we are unskillful. Why we give the same food, the food is not working, the food is not digesting. Still you give the food, keep on giving the food. That the condition worsen. In this way, you create the karma, negative karma. So this is, the action which, makes you to have, lot of illnesses. And then, somebody is very sad, somebody is going through mourning, mourn, somebody really going through mourn, somebody is very, some kind of, how to say, worried, somebody is very sad. You encourage that person to become more sad, make more worry. In this way, also, because when we worry, health is, we lose the health. Our health is affected. So in this way, we also have a lot of illnesses. And then, when somebody recovered from the illness, we are not happy, right? And when somebody is not recovered from the illness, we feel happy. If we do like this, also this is we create negative karma, a kind of negative karma which produce a lot of illnesses. So these are all, the 10, the karmic actions which, produce the multiple, the illnesses, or one after the another, right? And then, I will now talk about the, healthy life. What are the causes for healthy life? The causes of the karmic action, which, which makes you to have a healthy life, less sickness. That means, you refrain from bullying, you refrain from, hitting and beating others, right? And then you also encourage, somebody to refrain from, hitting and beating, right? And then talking good things about, refraining from avoiding the beating or, hitting others. And then, giving the right medication, prescribing the right medication for the patient. So this one. And then, and when the, other person gets recovered from the illness, you feel great joy, And then when the parents are sick, you try to help them. So this is also, to have less illness. And then when the, the monastics, when the sangha go through some sickness or illness, you try to help them, you try to serve them. This is also the causes for healthy life, And then the elderly people who has no protection, who has no refuge, who has no protection, if you try to serve them, that is also ensures a healthy life, And then giving the healthy food to the patient, to somebody who is sick, right? So these all are for the karmic actions which makes to have a healthy life, right? So with this, I would take one or two questions if you have some interesting question. I mean, sorry, if you have some question, I would take. Otherwise, we have reached the time. Any question?
Then, actually, this is not a questions, but thank you from one of your students. She said, and it's from Ánh Sáng. Yeah, it's not a questions. It's a thank you words
Okay,
to
sure,
you. Yeah, you for your teaching. She said that
thank you.
up until now, before today teaching, she just have a very shallow about the law of karma. She only understand on the surface of the law of karma. But now, thanks to your teachings, she have a much deeper and much more profound understanding of the law of karma, and she really feel thankful for your teaching today. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, thank you. So then, next week, I think we will talk about the remaining, the next is all about the act of, stealing. Now, that is also related with, how to getting rich. The topic of, the refraining from the act of, stealing is highly related to also with the, and there's not, sometimes we have the, understanding that, the act of stealing does not mean, does not only, confine, related with taking somebody's, object, somebody's wealth, it is not, even, even, we find something in the on the road, we find something on the road, and then we pick up, and then somebody come and have you found the object? Have you found, I lost something? Have you found? Then even if you don't have to say no, I haven't found. You don't have to stay from out. Even if you make the hand gesture, if you do like this, if you do like this, this is the act of the stealing, right? Or if you do like this, sometimes people, don't want to, answer, and then they do like this, right? Something like this, that means negative. So when it comes to the stealing, it's a, it's also complicated, also very important, also complicated, right? So the next week, and also very related with, related with, getting the, getting rich or, wealthy. When we talk about, getting wealth, it is not about this life, then how to use the resources, the wealth in a more positive way, in a more constructive way, positive way, and in a beneficial way. So that's the point, whole point, talking and discussing about the law of karma and the law of refraining from the act of killing, act of stealing, act of sexual misconduct, and all these things, right? So with this, I hope you understood, pretty good. So then, if you have no question, I will conclude with the dedication.
And I do have a questions.
Okay,
So,
sure,
as we all know that in Vajrayana we have lots of methods to purify our negative karma actions, and one of that is the antidote. So I just want to clarify that, for example, if we committed a very negative karma in the past, like killing, can we later do positive karma, like liberate animals to as to make up for the negative karma that we already committed in the past, like we dedicate all the merits that we created through all the positive actions that we do to purify the negative karma, our negative karma in the past. Would it work that way?
I see. So yes, of course, we have created many negative karma in our past life. At the same time, we also create a lot of positive karma, but then in this very life, for example, when we do some positive action, when we do engage in some kind of positive activity, positive action, it helps to purify. It helps to purify. Now now here the important thing, the very important thing that we need to understand is, when we do the purification, when we do the for example, like purification practice, right? Mainly, when we talk about when we talk about purifying, right? Purifying. Now in our mental state, in our mental state, there are many karmic imprint, right? Karmic imprint. There are many karmic tendency, maybe this life as well as also in the past life, there is a karmic tendency, negative karmic tendency, which has the potential to produce the negative result, right? Now, when we any purification practice, any purification practice should always complete with the 4 powers. We already discussed it, 4 powers. Because if we with the 4 powers, the power of remorse, the power of antidote, the power of the basis, the power of the regret, regret. So with all these powers, all the 4 powers are very powerful, and then the potential, we have the tendency, to produce the negative result. The tendency to produce the negative result is deactivated when we do this 4 powers. It is the function, the function to produce is weakened. It cannot produce now result with the help of the powers, 4 powers. Now it cannot produce much result. Now how much we make the purification practice, it depends on how powerful, how effective is the 4 powers, right? If the 4 powers are effective, then no matter how strong, how grave the negative karma is, it can bring to total, it can bring to total deactivation. It cannot even weaken, it totally weakened. It cannot produce any result, negative result. If the 4 powers are sometimes, look like one powerful, one not powerful, it still give rise to result. It still, give rise to negative result. So, much depends on the antidote, So any positive action, if the positive action is, done with the 4 powers, then yeah, even for many lifetimes, right? For example, when we do the prostration, right? When we all do the prostration. Prostration also involve the purifying. Now, for example, when we do the prostration, we visualize your limitless number, because the life has no beginning. There's no beginning to your birth. There's no beginning to your birth, because of the beginningless lifetime, right? So therefore, we take the limitless number of the birth. So in each of the birth, we may have created some negative karma. So therefore, when we do the prostration, we visualize all the beings, the limitless number of beings in the form of the human being when we do the prostration. And then when we do the prostration, because by doing in such a way, it helps to purify each of the negative karma that you may have created over the beginningless lifetime. So sometimes, yeah, this also, make a different, So I think this is the point. Is it enough?
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Also, can you elaborate more on the first purification force, which is the remote? You said about you
Yeah, the
you
power
rely
of basis.
on enlightened beings, right? That is one.
You mean the 4 powers?
The first one, remote.
The first one is the power of reliance, the power of basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, the power of basis means, for example, when we create negative karma, right? When we create negative karma, I mean, any negative karma mostly related with the people, right? We create negative karma, either, either related with this person or that person, right? So the karma that we create is related purely with other people. So when we talk about other people, there is that person is either sentient being or Buddha or holy beings, right? Holy beings. So any karma that we create is either directed towards the Buddha or holy beings or the ordinary sentient being. So therefore, in the power basis, then taking the refuge and generating the mind of enlightenment, in taking the refuge in the 3 jewels. So these are the power basis, Because when we do the power of, generating mind of enlightenment, and taking the refuge, so these are the very powerful, powerful kind of, method for making purification. So for example, you bring all the, when we do the refuge, right, when we take the refuge, when we generate the mind of enlightenment, you bring all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, right, of the 10 directions, and then you ask them, be my eyewitness. I have something very important to do. Please sit here, be my eyewitness. I am here to make purification. I am here to make all the confession that I have created since beginning of this lifetime. So please be my eyewitness. I have something very important to do. In their presence, in their, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, then you take a refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and you generate the mind of enlightenment. So that is the power basis, right? And then number 2 is the power of the power of the antidote. The power of the antidote now includes, meditation of bodhicitta, meditation on wisdom, meditation on bodhicitta, and then, doing all the, circumambulation, doing the water bowl offering, the tsatsa practice, and then there's a prostration, 7 limb practice. There are so many practice, there are so many practice, all related with the power of antidote and the antidote, right? The power of antidote. And of course, when it comes to the purification practice, meditation on bodhicitta and meditation on wisdom, these 2 are the most powerful. There is not a single negative karma which cannot be purified when we apply the meditation on bodhicitta, bodhitam, and meditation on wisdom. These 2 are the most powerful antidote that you can ever find. So this is the power of the antidote. And then the power of the regret. The power of the regret is very important, because without power of the regret, how can we make purification, right? That means the sense of regret, But again, don't feel that, oh, I'm guilty, don't feel that. But at least the power of remorse is very important. So long as, take example, right? For example, Milarepa, right? The great yogi Milarepa. And Milarepa, why Milarepa become enlightened in a single lifetime, in the shortest period of lifetime? He become enlightened because he understood what he did wrong is wrong. In the right from after having committed so many, heavy negative karma, he then realized that I have did something wrong. Then he felt remorse, he felt regret for having committed such a heavy negative karma. And then this remorse, brought him to the powerful Dharma practice, which then make him achieve enlightenment. So therefore, the remorse, the sense of remorse, really, is very powerful way to make all the 3 powers really effective. Right? So sense of the power of remorse is very important. In order to develop the a deep faith, in order to cultivate the sense of remorse, one need to believe in the law of karma. One need to understand the law of karma. Without believing in the law of karma, without understanding the law of karma, just trying to do the just trying to cultivate the remorse is a little bit difficult. And then the last one is the power of the promise, the power of the resolution, right? Then I have done something. Now I feel regret of what I have committed. It's wrong. This is a wrong action, So from now onwards, I will refrain. I will not commit any, negative action. So you make a resolution. You make a promise that from now onwards, I believe in the law of karma. I understand the law of karma. Now I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to engage in any negative action. Therefore, Buddha say, do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Create all the virtuous actions. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Tame your mind. And then this is the teaching of the Buddha. Right from the beginning. Right from the beginning, Buddha taught the law of karma. In the 4 lines. Right? Do not commit any negative action. Create all the positive action. Tame your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Right? So this is all about the 4 powers. 4 powers. When we do the purification, 4 powers need to bring into it. Then once the purification practice is complete, and then and if through the purification, and one may have created, sometimes one may have created the negative karma to live in the to take the birth in the hell for 100 years, right? When we do the purification karma, sometimes this 100 years is reduced to just a mere headache in this human life. One get headache, simply get headache, because that shows one has purified negative karma, right? So yeah, so purification works in that way.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. We now
Yeah,
have a much more deeper understanding. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, now I will do the dedication prayer. Yeah. Okay, thank you everyone. Yeah. Thank you.
Thầy cảm ơn thầy. Cảm ơn ban tổ chức.
Dạ, thưa cảm ơn tất cả mọi người.
Thank you everyone. Yeah.
Dạ, thưa hẹn gặp tuần tới. Cái chủ đề nghiệp này rất là quan trọng, và khi mà mình hiểu rõ, hiểu sâu như thầy nói là mình sẽ không dám tạo những cái nghiệp, thành ra là rất là quan trọng để cho cái con đường tu của mình được tiến bộ. Và xin ráng kêu là vào nghe, và cũng rủ bạn bè, người thân vào nghe. Cái chủ đề rất là quan trọng. Dạ, xin cảm ơn. Thanks everyone